4 years is a long time to build a life with someone. We met in college, and from the start, everything felt natural. We laughed easily, handled stress together, and navigated family drama like a team. Whenever something went wrong in life, she was the person beside me figuring it out. From the outside, we looked solid, but there was one part of the relationship where I kept dropping the ball: intimacy. Not because I didn't want it, not because the attraction wasn't there. It was because I never said what I actually wanted. Every time the thought came up, maybe we should talk about this, maybe we could try something different, a wave of awkwardness shut me down. I kept imagining the worst-case scenario. What if she thinks I'm criticizing her? What if she thinks she's not enough for me? So instead of risking that conversation, I stayed quiet. I went along with whatever happened and pretended everything was fine. But inside, I kept thinking how much closer we could feel if we just talked about it. The weird thing about relationships is that everyone expects mind reading. You assume the other person just knows what you want, while at the same time, you're too embarrassed to say it out loud. And the longer you stay quiet, the harder it becomes to start. One moment from last summer keeps replaying in my head. We were on this spontaneous road trip, driving through the middle of nowhere. At some point, we got tired and pulled over at this cheap roadside motel that looked like it hadn't been renovated since the early 90s. The walls were paper thin, you could hear everything happening next door. The blankets were rough and probably older than both of us. It was the kind of place you'd normally laugh about and leave as fast as possible. But I remember thinking, this might actually be the perfect moment. No distractions, no schedules, just us. I told myself this was the time I'd finally hint at what I'd been holding back for years. Maybe not some deep speech, just a gentle way to start the conversation. So while we were sitting on the bed, I casually mentioned that I'd read something about couples trying new ways to bond and stay emotionally connected. In my head, it sounded smooth. In reality, it came out awkward. She smiled and said, "That sounds great. We should start doing more hiking together." Hiking. That was her takeaway. And I just sat there nodding like, yeah, hiking sounds good. Inside, though, I felt the air completely leave my lungs. Not because she rejected me. She didn't even realize what I meant. But that moment killed the little bit of courage I had built up. Ever since then, every time I think about bringing the topic up again, that memory flashes back. And suddenly it feels safer to just stay quiet. The strange part is how silence changes a relationship, slowly, almost invisibly. You don't wake up one day feeling distant. It happens in small ways. You withdraw a little without realizing it. You laugh less in certain moments. The spark that used to come naturally starts fading around the edges. And the worst part is knowing the problem might be something simple, just a conversation that never happened. I've never told anyone about this before, not friends, not family, but letting it build like this feels stupid. 4 years together, and the thing holding me back isn't a real conflict. It's just the fear of saying what I want without sounding like I'm criticizing the person I love. Sometimes I wonder if a lot of relationships quietly struggle with this. Two people who care about each other, both waiting for the other to somehow understand what's never actually been said. And maybe the real connection we're both looking for starts with one uncomfortable sentence. A sentence I'm still trying to find the courage to say.